What's good, y'all? Welcome to another recording episode of DTYDT, Deeper Than You Don't Think. I'm your host, Zay. And today, um, let's see. We're going to make it good, right? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about character. And I know, it don't sound like, it sounds like we know this, we've heard this already, but let's look at character on a spiritual aspect. I should have had some scriptures for this. Let's go. So before I get into it, first, I'm a man of God. Secondly, my beliefs and ideas are like clothes. So if my beliefs and ideas don't fit anymore, I remove them and replace them with new ones that fit. Right? So, okay, and I could just only speak from my thoughts only. Haven't had really much of conversation with individual on this topic, but it tends to be on a level of, when it comes to character, it seems to be a level of selfishness and not a complete understanding of what's the rewards of having or being a person of character, right? And what I mean is like, sometimes there will be people who would choose to violate their morals and characteristics depending on who it is. And not only depending on who it is, also how they may feel towards said person or party. See, sometimes we won't see a problem in our character because our character is usually the best foot forward towards the people and things that would benefit us. Well, in that said person mind or according to the situation. Okay, so let me put it like this. You and a coworker, right? Y'all would seem to have the same ideals and moral compass. So let's say for instance, somebody comes in. Let's say you work at a gym. Let's use that for example. Both of you guys are staffs. You take turns. Somebody comes in to sign up or they comes for some information. One, they decide they know what the person is coming in for because of how they may have looked. Of course, they have experience in this area of when people come in, right? And say, for instance, you want to wait instead of just trying to sell the person what you want or sign them up for what you may think they want. You there just to hear them out. Like you said, like I said before, they may have come in for information. But your coworker right here, they believe themselves, they know how that may have how can that affect character, right? You may ask. We can't just go around the world treating people and managing people and things based off of how we think we might know something or based on our experience on something. So let's go for a bigger example or broader example. For instance, I experience in life, right? I experience in relationships. I experience with our family, right? So we know our family, we know our friends, we know our spouses and whatnot, right? So we would have, and let's not just go with desires, we would have different or certain things not only to say, but other ways of not just expressing ourselves, but having a just more than an input, you know? And in our minds, because we know how not only maybe rebellious a person might be, or hard headed a person might be, or very hard to talk to. Even though we know these people, we make characteristic judgments based off how we already know people. So we have people we spend all our lives with and we don't expect change, even though they haven't changed, but we don't expect change. When change is the only constant thing in life, age is changing, body's changing, times is changing. But what we don't understand is when we don't expect change, we usually get blindsided by a lot. And what we start doing, we start protecting ourselves, right? Or our character, or try to protect our character by trying not to have certain things happen again without understanding our characteristic flaws in whatever that situation may be or whatever that dynamic may be, right? Okay, so, yo, bro, excuse me, but in a time like this, especially since 2020, y'all know what happened. I'm not gonna get too far in what word and whatever, but bro, sis, sir, man, our family is all we have. The people around us is all we have. Of course, we all want to be successful. We want to do certain things, right? And we want to do a lot of things differently and better than the people before us. So why are we trying to do it without them? Why are we trying to move away from them, right? And of course, our first thought and our first reason for why we rather just go and leave is like, yo, they're not gonna change. If this is all we have, right? And you know how they say blood ain't thicker than water and all this other stuff. Yo, family's all you got. Family's all we got. Especially our people of color. That's all we got. But the first thing we do is we throw them away. Or we try to run away. And of course, yeah, we know it's hard. And I'm not saying like, yo, spend your whole, most of your time trying to be around your family. I'm not saying that in that way. What I'm saying is, if we apply like intentional time, and actually mending or growing out of some of these relationship dynamics, this is how we're going to handle everything in life, right? And of course, we won't see that as a character flaw because, like, oh, we're not going to be like that, right? Because this person didn't do this to me. All right, let's put it like this. Now, we surround ourselves with people now who we know, right? Who we know and we think that's not going to hurt us. Because the people who have hurt us, right? The people who have hurt us, we don't need them around. Or the people who did this do us wrong, or the people who don't listen, or people who are headed, we just, right? Okay. So now you only have these people around without even understanding how to keep these people around. The good people who don't do nothing, right? Now, who else you think is around you to actually help you grow out of actually continuing a relationship or a partnership or having a good relationship with family member? Like, so you, like, we really think eliminating all the people who do wrong, all the things that do wrong, all the things that don't make us happy, all the things that make us feel uncomfortable, right? And we surrounded ourselves with the things that do make us comfortable, or the people that do make us comfortable. Who else you think is gonna be the ones there to make us feel uncomfortable in some other situation or some other time? The people that we love, or the people that we think that's not gonna hurt us, or is not gonna do the thing that we thought that they wasn't gonna do. Now, the reason why we don't know that is because we don't believe that we are the same people who would do the same thing that they are doing to us or others. So that's one of the big things with people, even, or us as people trying to even fix or stay together even longer, because we don't believe that the other person can change. Secondly, we're not doing the work to change ourselves enough or to even understand our character flaws, where we don't have to expect other people to change, but we the one doing all the changing. Right? We don't understand that character is more spiritual than we know. Right? This is an intangible thing, like something that we can't see. Like, we hear it, and of course we will see it, like, in actors and in people who's very, talented in many different ways, right? But with all of that, sometimes they are not. The relationships that they have is not like how we would imagine them to be. Like, and we would ask, like, why is that? Because there's some character flaws where we don't own up to things, or there's certain things that we don't see within ourselves that is repetitive out there in everybody else. Like, sometimes, or early on, when we do start to, like, dig deep into our characteristics and how we are individually, we'll start to see there's a good amount of the things that we don't like, that's in us, that is of us, that we can do, that we are capable of doing, right? And you could go down the list, and that's for everybody. None of us ain't saints. It's not about being perfect, but what it is having and finding the grace to actually be diligent about all this, no matter how it may make you feel, no matter what the outcome may be, right? And we'll stop running from things where we don't even know it's making it worse in the long run. Right? Or we won't spend so much time in something because we didn't speak up, or we didn't think that it either was a decision. Like even when it comes down to even talking with people that you feel is hard to talk to. Excuse me. Like if that's the only mindset of having a conversation, then you'll never have that conversation, right? You'll continue having that same conversation of you not getting through in your mind until you actually just say like, you know what, it'll just happen, or the moment, or paying attention to when the moment presents itself, and then you can actually have that discussion with that person or bring that thing up. And the outcome you think, most of the times, the outcome we think are gonna happen is the outcome that we're not gonna like, even if it had happened before. So we're not expecting a better outcome at any moment in time. We're just keep expecting the same old outcome, or the outcome that we've seen repetitively, or the outcome that we don't like. So we don't even like to think in our minds of getting through to what we're gonna say, right? But if it's something when it's time, or when it comes to that point where you can't hold it in anymore, we're saying not the incorrect things. A lot of it might be the right things, but how we're communicating isn't communicating it anymore. It's like throwing words at a wall at that point, and who's going to listen to that? So now we won't feel heard, and we don't see no change, and of course we'll go back to the same thinking like, yo, it's not going to change. Nothing is going to get better, right? Because we wait till we get frustrated to communicate something that is more sensitive to be communicated. So the atmosphere in the area, body language, tone of voice, it has to be set in the environment of the conversation you're trying to have. Right? Like we really have to understand about what we choose to do and who we choose to do it with, right? So we will struggle more with outside things because we're not fixing or mending the at-home things, or the things that are more from the root. Because a lot of these things, a lot of these characteristic traits that is unhealthy, that makes us shy away from actually having the tough conversations and having the talks that might hurt, or the talks that might, that you feel that might be friendship ending, relationship ending, drama, anything like that. According to your intent, that will be how the conversation goes as well. So these are things we really have to pay attention and read into throughout our lives, so we can actually manage them better. Without proper character management, there's a lot of things that is either going to be unexpected. I mean, that's going to happen anyway, even if, and there's going to be some things where it's always going to rub you the wrong way. Right? There's a lot of things that makes us uncomfortable that we will never work throughout our lives if we don't tackle them in the places that they started. A lot of these characteristic flaws come from our traumas and the things that we was dealing with at home, growing up. So when it comes to handling them and manage them, we manage them and handle them the best way we know how. Right? So hopefully, this makes sense to y'all. Hopefully this helped you. If you thought about someone while listening to this, because you understood what I was talking about, make sure you share this to them because they need to hear this. Again, I hope this helped you. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. All right, this is Zayd, and I'm signing out. All right, peace.